this contraceptive thing, my gosh, it's such inexpensive. You know, back in my days, they used bare aspirin for contraceptives. The gals put it between their knees, and it wasn't that costly.
Excuse me, I'm just trying to catch my breath from that, Mr. Freeze, frankly.
Absolutely disgusting and horrifying. That's a video from 2012 of a Republican leader from Wyoming by the name of Foster Freeze. But that exact same statement that women can simply put an aspirin between their knees was repeated this week in Arizona. This from the Arizona Mirror, as Governor Hobbs in Arizona, Democrats were blasting Republicans for refusing to give Arizonans a right to contraception. One of the top Republicans says that this issue is fabricated and women can simply stop this issue if they just took the aspirin that was invented by Bayer Company and put it between their knees. This was a statement made by MAGA Republican Senator Sonny Borrelli, who's the #2 Republican in the state Senate in Arizona, as the Arizona Republicans blocked Democrats in Arizona this week from putting forward a bill that would codify protections for women to the right to contraception. And the Republicans' argument why women shouldn't have the right to contraception is that they can simply put an aspirin between their knees. Let me show you this video of what went down in the Arizona Senate earlier this week. Play this clip.
State Republicans in the House block an effort to protect birth control in our state. Democratic Rep. Stephanie Stahl Hamilton of Tucson made a motion to adopt a temporary rule to bring her bill to the floor for a vote. She says the bill, though, has not been assigned to any committees for consideration. Governor Hobbs urged members of the legislature to pass the Right to Contraception Act, and every Republican voted no.
The topic of this bill is so important that I believe it deserves a hearing. It is a topic that is relevant. It is a topic that deserves robust conversation, and it is a topic that most of the people in Arizona support.
Democrats have expressed concern about reproductive rights following the recent Alabama Supreme Court IVF ruling and also following the U.S. Supreme Court decision that overturned Roe v. Wade.
And that's what's happening across the country at the state level and at the federal level with MAGA Republicans. And sure, MAGA Republicans want to go on right-wing talk shows and claim, for instance, that, they're in favor of IVF. But meanwhile, the judges they're appointing, same way we saw in the Alabama Supreme Court, are making rulings based off the decision in Dobbs with the MAGA Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, making rulings like frozen embryos have all of the same rights as living children, and therefore if anything happens to a frozen embryo, you can be charged with murder, you can be sued for wrongful death. And then the MAGA Republicans, like in the House of Representatives and in the Senate at the federal level, are blocking measures that would stop that characterization of frozen embryos as being the same as children. I mean, I'm not making this up. I mean, this is when Senator Tammy Duckworth, a Democrat, introduced legislation and was seeking unanimous consent, unanimous approval by the Senate to have a bill to protect the right to IVF. And watch what happens when a MAGA Republican objects to it. Senator Hyde Smith, the MAGA Republican, blocks it. Watch this go down. Play the clip.
Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions be discharged from further consideration of S 3612, and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration. Further, that the bill be read a third time and passed, and the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
Reserving the right to object.
The senator from Mississippi.
Madam President, I support the ability for mothers and fathers to have total access to IVF in bringing new life into the world. I also believe human life should be protected. These are not mutually exclusive. Let's be clear about what the Alabama case is about. This was a case brought by families whose human embryos were killed when an unauthorized individual walked into the fertility clinic through an unsecured door, removed several human embryos, and dropped them, causing their deaths. The court's holding in favor of the parents found that these frozen human embryos are children under Alabama law. It did not ban IVF, nor has any state banned IVF. The bill before us today is a vast overreach that is full of poison pills that go way too far beyond ensuring legal access to IVF.
Then I can show you this flashback, of course, to Amy Coney Barrett, who was appointed by Donald Trump and adding to a extremist right-wing Supreme Court right now. Here's a flashback where during the confirmation hearing, Amy Coney Barrett refused to rule out criminalizing IVF. Here, play this clip.
But your legal position, IVF treatment, and I'm not going to ask again, just this last time, criminalizing it,
well,
would it be constitutional? I think there's a clear answer.
But Senator, I've repeatedly said, as has every other nominee who sat in this seat, that we can't answer questions in the abstract. That would have to be decided in the course of the judicial process. With a case, some legislature would actually have to do that, and then litigants would have to come to court. There would have to be briefs and arguments and consultation with colleagues and opinion writing and consideration of precedent. So an off-the-cuff reaction to that would just circumvent the judicial process.
Well, again, I'm disappointed. I think Tracy would find that response somewhat chilling because she and thousands, maybe millions of women, potential parents, would be horrified to think that IVF treatment could be made criminal. And I understand you're not answering the question, but I think she would be deeply fearful.
And then you have people like Senator Cruz of Texas going around saying that Obergefell, the decision, the Supreme Court decision that was back from 2015 that made the ruling that same-sex couples in the United States, no matter where they live, have the same legal right to marry as different-sex couples. The MAGA Republicans want to attack that. And you have the justices they appointed saying that they're going to overturn Obergefell. And again, just listen to their words about what they are saying. Play this clip.
In Obergefell, the court said, no, we know better than you guys do. And now every state must sanction and permit gay marriage. I think that decision was clearly wrong when it was decided. It was the court overreaching.
And again, listen to the words. When Donald Trump says that he wants more justices like Clarence Thomas, and Clarence Thomas is out there saying he wants to overturn Obergefell, when Clarence Thomas wants to abolish the separation of church and state, when Clarence Thomas wants to allow weapons of war to proliferate. We need to understand where this is coming from. It's not a both sides issue. And here's Donald Trump just saying what he wants. Play this clip.
My administration will again adopt rock-solid constitutional conservatives to be federal bench justices and judges, but in the mold of Antonin Scalia and Justice Clarence Thomas, who, by the way, right now is under siege by the radical left.
And of course, I mean, Donald Trump said he wants to punish women who seek reproductive rights. He says he wants to punish women. Here, play this clip.
I would say that it's a very serious problem, and it's a problem that we have to decide on. It's very hard.
But you're for banning
Are you going to say, well, wait, are you going to say put them in jail? Is that
well,
the
no, what I'm
punishment
asking
you're talking about?
Because you say you want to ban it. What's that mean?
I am pro-life, yes.
What is ban? How do you ban abortion? How do you actually do it?
Well, you know, you'll go back to a position like they had where people will perhaps go to illegal places.
Yeah.
But you have to ban it.
Do you believe believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
10 years.
I don't know. That I don't know. That
Why
I don't
not?
know. I don't know.
You take
because
positions
I don't
and
wanna-
everything else.
I do take positions and everything else. It's a very complicated position.
I'm asking, you're running for president. I'm not. I'm
Chris,
asking you,
Chris.
what should a woman face
No,
if she
I
chooses
can't-
to have an abortion?
I'm not going to do that. I'm not
Why
going to play
not?
that game. You
said you're pro-life.
I am pro-life.
That means banning abortion.
And so is the Catholic Church pro-life.
And then compare that over here, though, to President Biden over here. Here's what President Biden said at the State of the Union. Play this clip.
Those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024. If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
And here's what Vice President Kamala Harris just said when she went to Planned Parenthood. She spoke there on Thursday. Play this clip.
It is only right and fair that people have access to the health care they need, and that they have access to health care in an environment where they are treated with dignity and respect. And please do understand that when we talk about a clinic such as this, it is absolutely about health care and reproductive health care. So everyone get ready for the language. Uterus. That part of the body needs a lot of medical care from time to time. Issues like fibroids. We can handle this. Breast cancer screenings. Contraceptive care. That is the kind of work that happens here. In addition, of course, to abortion care. So to have laws in states that have caused clinics like this to shut down so that women have no access within any reasonable distance of where they live to get this vital care that is necessary to address their health needs and concerns.
And finally, here's what President Biden said in a recent speech he gave in Pennsylvania. Play the clip.
She scheduled treatments to have a second child, but the Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by the U.S. Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. She was told her dream would have to wait. What her family has gone through should never have happened. And folks, do you know why it happened? I'll tell you why. One reason, Donald Trump. He came to office determined to overturn Roe v. Wade. In fact, he's bragged about it repeatedly, that he's the reason it got overturned. He got his wish. And states are passing bans, criminalizing doctors, forcing rape and incest victims to leave their state to get care. And now, MAGA Republicans and Donald Trump want to pass a national ban on the right to choose, period. Well,
so you decide. I mean, I'm showing you the clips of here's what the Republicans are doing, how dangerous it is. Here's what Democrats are doing. You decide. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.